I got into some many heated arguments with people. The rain nearly fucking takes him out. We live in Ireland. I deal with rain every day. Oh, my eye is so itchy. I don't know if anyone else remembers that meme that went around semi-recently where it asked, who do you think would win in a fight? Was it 1 million lions or 1 billion lions? Maybe it was 1 billion. Maybe that's what made it contentious. Anyway, let's say 1 billion for argument's sake. 1 billion lions versus one of every Pokemon. And I got into some many heated arguments with people that although there are only like, I think there's like probably close to 800 Pokemon now, you would only need like a few of them to absolutely obliterate the lions. But then other people were like, that's such a vast amount of lions. Like, I don't think so. But anyway, I've spent too much time thinking about this question. And it's prompted me to question my own physicality and what would happen if Pokemon were to be real and if the time came, if I needed to physically fight them. So I have the original 151 on the laptop in front of me here, and I'm going to go through them one by one and tell you whether I think I could defeat them in hand-to-hand combat. Because this is something I think we need to be more prepared for, and we're just not. Starting with Bulbasaur. Bulbasaur, no hands, quite small, low base to the ground. I think I could probably get a foot under the chin, upturn him, dushed. I don't mean to assume any of these Pokemon's genders. I'm just looking at Bulbasaur's eyes. He gives off very masculine male energy, you know what I mean? In like a scrappy young boy kind of a way. We're not at the fancying Pokemon yet, but it's coming, trust me. Ivysaur, I think if you got a good grip of the leaves and you kind of like trunchbulled them, I think yes is the answer. Yes, I could defeat Ivysaur in hand-to-hand combat. Venusaur, I don't think so. I feel like I should back myself more in this fight, but Venusaur is too large, too broad, too strong. Then you have the whole issue of like the poisonous thing on top that I think is more powerful than the other two's plants. So I think would probably use the power of marijuana to inhibit me, and then would probably just curb stomp me, to be honest. Charmander, I could defeat. I don't know if anyone's seen the anime where the rain nearly fucking takes him out. We live in Ireland. I deal with rain every day. Not an issue. Fuck you, Charmander. Charmeleon, a crankier man I ne'er did see. Another one that gives off masculine, bordering on toxic masculine energy, I would say. I'm going to take a punt and say I could defeat Charmeleon. The knob on his head doesn't really threaten me that much. Charizard, we're at the sexy Pokemon, girls and boys. I could not defeat Charizard. I'm even just looking at him the way his hands are here, and I feel like you could get into a good like pushing match. But then also you've the strength of the tail. I would be dazzled by his good looks. So I would not win, unfortunately. Squirtle, you've got another like Trunchbull kind of situation here with the tail. I don't think you'd make a lot of headway with like fists or kicks. So unless you like went directly at the face and skull, I think. Because the shell, that's just basic logic really, like, isn't it? But I think if you got the legs or the tail and swung them over, you'd be fine. Wartortle, another one that gives fuckboy energy, which, anyway. Wartortle, I also do think I could defeat. Because that you've got more of a grip of the tail, longer tail, bigger tail, pointy ears, you go... Done. Blastoise, unfair advantage because he is literally armed. All cops are Blastoise. Yeah, I don't think I'd make much headway with him, so we'll quit that. We'll quit while we're ahead there. Caterpie, not a fucking question. I would kick the shit out of Caterpie. And then you have his little antenna thing. Again, another thing that you could fling off. Metapod, I think would talk a big game. You know the whole thing of, well, okay, let's change the question then. Define defeat, you know? define defeat for me, kind viewers. I don't think Metapod would defeat me, but I'm not sure I would defeat Metapod because it's strong structure. I think I would be wasting my time. I think I would end up using a lot of energy and then would have no energy to finish the job. Butterfree, I'm not convinced can see properly out of its eyes. Bit of an astigmatism job like myself. You get the wings, you pull them off, like those kids that you grew up with who are probably, I don't know where they are now, but I wish you the best. Butterfree, absolutely no issue there. Weedle, you'd think would be more of a threat because it has a horn on either end. Same as myself, talking about Charizard. But that would be no issue because it's a literal insect. Kakuna, same issue as Metapod, so maybe just rewind the video and go back and watch what I said. Beedrill, absolutely fucking not. I would not stand a chance. Has literal horns for hands and a horn on its ass that I think would definitely impede me. Imbued with poison, you would imagine. A goner, absolutely not. And like strangely strong looking legs given the fact that it's an insect as well. But anyway. Also, I'm afraid of bees, which is melissophobia. It's the name of the phobia. They're good, like they're great for the planet. I don't have like an issue with them. The buzzing scares the fuck out of me. Anyway, Pidgey I could defeat. Pidgey's just a bird. Pidgey's just a bird and a shit one. It's the progression where it gets complicated. Pidgeotto, I think I would say we'll call it a draw there. I think I would get distracted by that hair, ravishing hair. Pidgeot is the same but just has highlights, but seems stronger and more broad. So you know what? We're gonna forget about that one as well. Rat-ta-ta-ta, rat-ta-ta-ta, rat-ta-ta-ta. Remember TikTok? Remember all of those TikTok sounds from the pandemic? What a time. Oh, my eye is so itchy. Rattata, yes. A little mouse. A little mouse will not stop me. Raticate would kind of scare me because it's a large rat. So, but much smaller hands, you know what I mean? Not as, I think movement wise, I think I would one up it there. Fearow, boring. Try something else, do something else. Absolutely cakewalk. The winner is Vanilla J. Fearow, longer, sharper beak that reminds me of a knife. So again, I think I could be a bit fucked there. I'm gonna give that one to Fearow actually, you know what? Why not? Ekans doesn't appear to have any teeth, so I think its form of attack would be like constriction, which I'm not good with. I think I could outrun them. And also they don't have legs, so they wouldn't actually be able to run either. So I think I could sort out Ekans. Arbok also doesn't appear to have teeth in this picture that I'm looking at. Maybe they have teeth in other things. And I in some of the Pokedex entries, there's a thing about its markings that it like, you look at it and it fucks up your brain, and that's how it like, or that's how it scares people off. It doesn't fuck up your brain. It scares people off. I'm looking at it, I'm not particularly scared. If I was to stand up against one and have it looming over me, I think that might be an issue. I think I'm going to be honest with myself. I think Arbok would win there. Pikachu, absolutely no fucking question. I would annihilate. It's just an electric mouse. It's just Rattata, but it's like has static. You know what I mean? You get like the off the shopping trolley. Raichu, more of a punch. On that though, I do think if you were to aim directly for the stomach and just repeatedly punch both Pikachu and Raichu, I think I could win. So I'm actually going to say yes to both of them. Sandshrew, no, I don't think I would win because it is literally a rock mouse. Very hard outer shell. I think any damage I attempted to do with my feet or hands would result in broken phalanges. So we're going to say no there. Sandslash, we're also going to say no because again, with the weaponry for hands, I'm going in at a disadvantage there. Sandslash also has that spiky back. I think if I got in at its eyes, I think if I did an eye gouge, but I don't know if that's allowed in Pokemon versus human combat, you know what I mean? Nidoran. What is Nidoran? What is this line supposed to be? Dragon? Are they baby dragons? Rabbit? Baby rabbit? Now that I look at them all, I get more rabbit vibes, but then as the line progresses, I don't get rabbit. Nidoran would be fine. I think Nidorina would be fine. I would win. Nidoqueen, no. She is up for a brawl. She gives me WWE girl energy, like Bella Twins. Gonna fuck you up. Nidoran, male. This is very heteronormative or gender normative back in the day when you think about it. Nidoran male, done again because you got the big ears, fling away. Nidorino, I don't think I would win against because he has the horn in the middle of his face. So I think that could cause me a perforated lung if I stepped the wrong way. Nidoking, very ferocious. I don't think I'd be able for that. He's like this in this picture that I'm looking at. Strong thighs, rugby player thighs, broad horn, poisonous horn. No, absolutely, I don't think that's gonna work. Clefairy, yeah, I could kick the shit out of. And similarly, Clefable, I don't think would cause me too much harm. And I think it's important to say, you know, if they have these ulterior, like these other characteristics, but let's just say they're not allowed to use them in this hand-to-hand combat situation. Vulpix, it's just like the Jack Russell of Pokemon, like it'd be very fine. All bark, no bite, you know what I mean? Ninetales, I think again I read in the Pokedex description for Ninetales that there's something if you pull the tail that you'll be cursed for like years and years and years and years and years. I could see myself doing that by mistake in a brawl, so that would not be good. So I think ultimately I would lose. Even if I won the initial battle, I would lose in the long term. Jigglypuff, what a little dickhead. Fuck you. You're dead. Wigglytuff, you're just longer, but you're still dead. And again, you have the ears that I can swing to my advantage. Zubat, as far as I'm aware, has no eyes. So I think, despite it having teeth and wings, that would put it at a disadvantage, so I would win. Golbat would defeat me because it has a very large mouth and it has eyes. Two things that you need to win a physical fight, from what I've heard. Terrible feet though on Golbat. I'm not really sure how much traction he'd get on them. Oddish, same argument, but no arms this time. So I think if I was just to grab by the foliage, I could probably just rip them off and pretty much lobotomize them and I would win. Gloom is fucked up all the time, right? Gloom is, I don't know, enjoys drinking Codenex recreationally, so I think that would not be an issue because I think they would just be literally on drugs during the fight. Vileplume, I could see them using that as like a battering ram and using that against me, which I think could prove problematic for me for sure. You know what? I'm actually going to say Vileplume would win. I think if it got me against a wall with that, we're in danger. Paris, let's look at Paris. Paris is just a crab, so no problem. No problem with that. You are dushed. Parasect, harder shell. I don't think I would make great progress there, and I think it would eat me alive. Venonat, kind of same issue as Butterfree. Very small arms, eyes that I'm not sure how visible they are, teeth that, although look sharp, don't look that threatening, and at the end of the day is just a living puffball. What are those, dust bunnies? Those things, clumps of like dust and shit that roll around your house? That's the vibe I get. Venonat as well. Venonat I think I could mangle. Yeah, I think I would win against Venonat because it's just not very like, it's just a moth, you know? But I know a lot of people are afraid of moths. I'm not afraid of moths, so I would be fine. Diglett has the advantage of being able to go underground, which I do not have, and the same with Dugtrio. Very punchable, though, I would say. So I think again it might be a case of would I win? No. Would they win? Also no. Meowth is just a cat, and from owning a cat that has extreme psychological issues, I'm gonna say no. I'm going to say no, I would not win. And I'm going to say the same for Persian. I would not win that fight because cats are deranged. Psyduck, like by logic, I feel like I should win this because your man is absolutely dying of a migraine, you know? Yeah, no, fuck it, I would win. I need to back myself more. I need to believe in myself more. Golduck, like, I feel like he could Will Smith me with the hands is the issue, and he's got a longer, stronger tail. So I think if he did a whip around, he could knock me off my feet for sure, which would definitely be an issue. So I'm gonna say yes, he would defeat me. Yeah, absolutely. Mankey, so funny that there is just a Pokemon called Mankey, you know what I mean? Given what it means in the Irish dialect, but anyway. Mankey is a fighting type, and I would imagine is quite quick on its feet. I'm gonna say no, and do you know what? I'm gonna say the same for Primeape, because Primeape has literal boxing gloves and is ready to go, and I would not. I just wouldn't. And look at the rage in Primeape's face. The picture I'm looking at, it looks like he's gonna stomp on my head. So we're gonna say no there. Growlithe, another fiery dog. I get beagle energy. I get fire beagle energy here. So I think that would be fine. I go in armed with a tennis ball. Sayonara. Arcanine, bigger, badder, stronger. I love that Daft Punk song. I think would probably give me a hard time. I would say definitely give me a hard time. Poliwag, no arms. Again, we're back to the no arms thing, on a tail and a nose that I'm not actually sure if it's a mouth. Did you know the swirl here is actually its intestines? Isn't that absolutely fucking disgusting? I can't remember what my initial answer was. I think if I repeatedly punched Poliwag, Poliwhirl, maybe Poliwrath to a lesser degree, because you just know Poliwrath is angrier and seems to have the strength to come out against you. But I think if I had a good couple of shots at Poliwag and Poliwhirl, I would win. Poliwrath, I'm going to say no. Abra, I'm going to call that a draw, because that motherfucker's just going to teleport everywhere and he's going to be like zipping around the place. I'm not going to get anywhere with that. But I also don't think he'd have a chance against me. You know what I mean? Kadabra, get that mustache. Pain. Inflict pain that way. Alakazam, the only extra thing that he has is another spoon. I don't think I would defeat Alakazam. He's got like bigger traps. He's got bigger feet. He's got the horns on his head. I'm going to say respectfully, no. The next three I'm also going to say I wouldn't win against, because they are fighting types again. Machop, Machoke, Machamp. I've been watching this since I was 6 years old. Do you think I could pronounce them by now? But I can't. Machoke is so buff that he has stretch marks in his arms, that his skin is bursting apart, such is the muscle mass. And I have obviously had to take a week off the gym because I got COVID again. So I'm not where I would want to be with my training. If it was to happen tomorrow, like. And then Machop obviously has the opposite problem to a lot of the other Pokemon, where he's an extra pair of arms. So that would be a massive issue. Bellsprout is a weed. So I would just get a paper. I don't smoke. So that could have meant anything, to be honest. Weepinbell, no arms or legs, just a gaping open mouth like myself. I could definitely get a funt up there and win. Victory Bell gets a little bit more complicated, because although it doesn't necessarily have arms or legs again, that mouth is like a bottomless pit, and I think could really definitely cause me some serious issues if I was to trip and fall in. You know what I mean? Tentacool, stingy, but again you have these appendages, the jelly floss or whatever. You get that, you plait it, you fuck it out. Tentacruel, no, because cruel is in the name. Cruel by name, cruel by nature. And you've got a lot of fucking extra legs there that I just don't fancy contending with, to be completely honest. Then we're on to the rock boys. Geodude. Geodude is just a rock though, you know what I mean? Where am I going to get punching a rock? Not very far, I would say. And the same with Graveler, who again, 4 arms, which I can't contend with. Golem, it's funny because you go back, they take away a set of arms but seem to make him harder in the body and give him a separate head. But his thighs and legs seem stronger and longer there, so no, I don't think I would win with any of these boys, to be honest. Okay, we're about halfway through. I'm probably going to do part 2. So come back for part 2 and we're going to see the rest of them. I have to have the names up with me, because when I looked at a picture of all of them separately, I was like, I don't know who the fuck any of these, or like trying to name some of the non-obvious ones off the top of my head was much more difficult than I thought it would be. So come back for part 2.